Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. I do appreciate it when the news cycle gives me stuff to read on, or I don't have to really go digging and searching for it. I had recorded one of the videos that was going up this morning yesterday because I knew I was going to be home late tonight, and I didn't want to do two videos. I wanted to do one so I could go to bed at a reasonable hour. So as I go looking through the news cycles, trying to see what's out there, two stories came up. One about the hostage exchanges with Israel and Hamas, and man, oh man, that's one of the ones I'm happy to be wrong on. I saw some disappointment coming in after the second day, and maybe that card was reversed. Maybe it was the opposite of disappointment. Maybe it was optimism, because Hamas and Israel agreed to extend the ceasefire and extend hostage exchanges and prisoner exchanges. So more of the hostages that Hamas is holding are going back to Israel, and more Palestinian prisoners are being returned to Palestine. So, knock on wood, I hope that it goes smoothly. What was also interesting, though, was, and not to smile too much about this, but one of the reasons why I thought it was disappointment was I thought Israel would take advantage of intelligence gathering during that and strike at some Hamas leadership or some high value targets. And it turns out they did, but it was before the hostage exchange. That news came out, like 4 senior officials and for the Hamas were killed in a missile strike. While I was not right with it in my interpretation of the cards, it's kind of cool to see the components were there. They just weren't linked the way I thought they were linked. So, tarot's not an exact science, and I'm still learning. But I thought it was pretty cool that I kind of saw something like that happening. It just wasn't, the cause and effect that caused that. And if I'm going to be wrong, man, this is the way I want to be wrong. That more people were coming home than a truce being cut short. Okay. But the other story that came up was the news that Donald Trump is going to testify on his own defense in the civil fraud trial on December 11th. If that doesn't warrant a reading, I don't know what does. So come on down. Entertainment purposes only, yada, 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 yada. What is the energy around that? How is Donald Trump's testimony going to look in his civil trial come December 11th? Okay, Queen of Swords. Well, we're going to find out who the real Donald Trump is. Now, first segue. We all know how this is going to go, right? I mean, this is not a mystery. He's going to go up there, and it's going to be like that PowerPoint presentation. He's going to go up there and say it's all a witch hunt. He's going to rip on Letitia James. He's going to rip on the judge, and it's all political, blah, 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 blah. And then during cross-examination, anytime he's asked a question, he's not going to answer it. He's just going to pontificate. Again, as if there was a jury there, and there isn't. It's just the judge. So I doubt we'll get some actual insight from this man during his testimony. But we've got the Queen of Swords here. This could very well be Letitia James, like, bring on the cross-exam. I'm there for that. And I bet you Letitia James actually does the cross-examination. They've been taking turns with the attorneys in her office. She may want this one because this is the cherry on top. This is the plum of the pie. And there we go, in the Hierophant. Yeah, this is going to be the end of the court case, and it's going to be very clear by the time this is done, Donald Trump's contributions to saving his fortune. He better start playing. Yeah. Ooh. Remember, this is a civil case, but he's going to be under oath. So anything he says under oath, in this case, also impacts the criminal case and other cases. So they're going to be watching him and recording him, and they may ask him questions that don't necessarily impact the civil case, but could very well impact the criminal case. And maybe they watch to see if he pleads the fifth on some of these things or not. So this is going to be fun. Donald Trump is not careful with his words. So he could very well put himself in a very bad situation. He's going to set himself up for perjury. Maybe not in this trial, but he could set himself up for perjury and other things. In the past, we've got the Eight of Swords. I think Donald, free Donald, unleash Donald, let Trump be Trump. Remember those battle cries from 2016 when they were trying to present him as a reasonable candidate, and then they just let him go hog wild crazy on people, and it worked? Well, he's felt this way in this trial too. He has felt trapped. He has felt victimized. He hasn't been able to present his side of the story of things, and it's time. It's his day to sit in the sun and have all eyes on him. Spin the big wheel. Current situation, they are taking a real chance putting this guy up on the stand. And I bet you there are defense lawyers everywhere that are just groaning at the thought that they're going to put this guy up on the stand. Or at least that they're claiming they're going to do it. Maybe it's not a done deal yet, but the fact that even said they were going to do it, this is not going to work out well. The man can't say his full name without lying. He's going to be committing perjury left, right, and center. Interesting. Overall is the Four of Wands. This could be, this is the welcoming. Yeah, the court's going to welcome his testimony. Come on in. It could also be, this could also be, if it was related to the gag order, if there is a gag order that's reinstated in this case, there's that chance that he violates. They'll be taking him to his testimony from county jail, from the lockup, if he commits perjury. But I think, let's look at it this way. This is his big day to shine. And that's how he's looking at it. It's like, I and I alone can save this case. And I'll show you how it's done. He has no idea what he's getting himself into. Now, he has testified in court cases before. The guy's been in court defending cases probably for 40 years. But nothing like this. This is for all the marbles, and they've already ruled against him. So the burden of proof is going to be on Donald Trump. And he's not exactly a reliable witness. What was the term Judge Engeron used on him? He found him not to be a credible witness. Yeah, you're going to have to bounce back from that one. Outcome is the Five of Swords. This man's narcissism is going to be on full display. He's going for it, and he's just going to attack anyone and everyone around him. His own lawyers may get attacked just because he's the way he's swinging the blades around here. Is this going to do him any good? No. It's not going to do him any good. Honestly, from an intellectual point of view, there's nothing he can say. There's really nothing he can say. There's nothing he can do that's going to get him out of this. And he could get himself in a whole lot of trouble if he's not careful, because anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Especially if you've got Letitia James and very sharp lawyers watching you in that court of law, saying stuff that's going to get you into trouble. Sorry you felt like a victim and that your lawyers aren't very good and your sons are even worse. You're going to take the big chance and testify. This could work out really bad for you, because it's going to be a lot harder than you think it's going to be. Opens up a whole wave of second questions here. Okay, so that's the energy around it. All right, yeah. What I want to ask is, will he actually answer questions? Or will he be a drama king? I also want to ask, will his testimony help his case? Because I can't see a situation where what's the result? Maybe this is it. What's the result of Donald's testimony? Maybe do a little four-carder here. What's going to be the end result of Donald Trump's testimony? Will it have an impact? Will it have no impact? Will it have an impact on other cases, not this case? That's what I think is going to happen. Let's see what we got. Maybe we get the victory card for him, huh? What's going to be the impact? No, we get We get the impact is people are going to see him for the narcissistic a-hole that he is. It's on full display. They're going to ask him questions about the money, and he's not going to. He won't answer them. He'll blame the banks. He'll blame the accountants. He'll blame everybody who touched the money, but not himself. He is blameless. He's going to talk about how he built up this company from nothing. And he worked behind the scenes to build this brand and build this great company, and he had no help from anybody. So on and so forth. That mythology that he's a self-made man. We know it's not true because there's ample evidence to show that he inherited daddy's estate. He won't answer the questions though, but there might be more questions when he's done because of shady loans and stuff like that going on in the background. Yeah, he's not going to answer any questions. Any questions that are asked of him, anything he doesn't want to answer, he's just going to walk away from. And he's going to get all emotional with it. Kind of like those pressers, the accordion press conferences afterwards. He's going to go in. He's going to just be obnoxious. Just talk about how great he is and how he built everything. He's not going to answer any questions about money and where the money came from or how the money was handled. And then he's going to walk away in a huff. Giving nothing substantial. But you do have the eclipsed moon over the sun, so it's very possible that as he walks away from this case, he unravels stuff for future cases. Underneath it is the agreements. This might be agreements with banks and other business partners and stuff along those lines. It could also be with his lawyers. But yeah, he's going to be obnoxious. I think he forced his lawyers into this agreement. Because he doesn't like his lawyers. His lawyers are incompetent, and he knows they are. So it's up to him to bail those two out. And if he loses the case, he'll blame his lawyers because that's who he is. So again, don't expect him to answer questions about money. Do expect him to pontificate. And it's just possible that more questions arise about his finances and the agreements he had finances with. How is Judge Ngoran going to rule on this case? And he's already ruled things are guilty. Is he going to give Letitia James her $250 million, or will he go higher, or will he go lower? Let's look at Judge Engoron's ruling that may come at the end of December, beginning of January, that sort of thing. We already know that the company's been put on receivership. Basically, has to sell everything, including their houses, because they put their houses in the company's name. Now, I'm sure, I can almost guarantee you that was for tax reasons, to save the money on taxes and stuff like that. And they never thought once that their houses would basically be repossessed and sold as a business possession to pay off their debts. Oh, I can imagine they had no idea that that was even a possibility. Okay, how's Judge Engoron going to rule with regards to that? Okay, it's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough ruling. I don't think it's, well, I don't know if deciding on the amount is going to be difficult. I mean, that could be one of actually, the more difficulty is how do you implement it. Let's go on. I was going to do 4, but let's do 6. But, yeah, this has been a tough case, but it's, he's been keeping it going. And, he's not allowing for delays and delay tactics underneath there. Yeah, this is about the judge. Tough case. Keep it moving. Justice is going to be served on, or the judges in the courts will be served by this. This could be back to the gag orders, and just the judge just trying to keep this thing going, and it's already turned into a circus, but trying to prevent it from being an even bigger circus than it already was. High Priestess, a lot of good information came out in this case. So if we're going to look at that, that's going to be from the prosecutor's point of view, because they're the only ones who've actually presented evidence and presented experts who were experts on things, as opposed to presented opinions and experts who were not experts on things. So that's going to help with that. I haven't seen any pentacles yet. Overarching is the Six of Swords. I think he's going to like it when things calm down. When this case is over, things are going to calm down and people will stop threatening him and his clerk. I guess, he's going to make his decision fast. The case is over, relatively speaking, this case went fairly quickly, and I think he's going to make his decision fairly quickly too. And we got the World card underneath. It was coming out reverse. I typically don't do reversals, but it's bringing everything to a full conclusion. To me, it means she's going to get at least her $250 million. And it could very well be more than $250 million. Because I think they've proven their case, the whole case, on that one. And the $250 million is the minimum. The judge can order more than the minimum. So, even though they keep reporting this as a $250 million case, it could be much more than that. All right, I didn't get a value out of that one. Will the judge order more than $250 million? How about that? Just a simple little yes or no. Now, the thing is, you can actually do tarot cards for yes or no. I don't know which ones are which. I'd have to look them up, which would mean I'd have to hit the pause button, and we all don't want that, now do we? Ooh, I think it's going to be more than $250 million. It's going to be quite a bit more than that. I would be, hold my breath out, it would be $1 billion total, but it's going to be more than 250. Let's see. It's going to be, it's going to impact the whole family and the family dynamic. We got the 9. Oh, here we go. And the Star card. There's that burden card again. That's where the hard part is for him. It's not the guilt. It's how much money to fine him. Looking at his overall finances, evaluating what to do on this one. What did I miss? And he has to also be careful that his ruling isn't overturned because he's been attacked on this case. So they're going to obviously appeal it and say the judge is biased. So he's being very careful and cautious with his ruling. But at the same time, this is that opportunity to really have Donald Trump pay for the crimes that he's done. I would say, all told, I'm going to guess it's going to be between $600 and $700 million. Call it 650. I think he's going to go for $650 million. Oh, Trump is going to lose his mind. Or upwards to $650 million. Maybe, I don't know if like they could do $500 million and then there's like $150 million in penalties. I don't know how it all works. But it could be as much as like $650 million. This may not be just a $250 million case. Now, I could be wrong on that. That evaluation could just be, that 7 of coins could just be an evaluation of his wealth. But he knows that Donald Trump is allegedly a wealthy man, a billionaire, and he's going to look at it and make sure that the penalty fits the crime. And I think the prosecutor, again, has done everything that they needed to do to prove their case. Any final thoughts on this one? Well, we know Trump's going to he's going to appeal this. Will Trump implicate himself in any other crimes with his testimony on December 11th? Will Trump implicate himself in any other crimes because of his testimony on December 11th. Now, it'll be a while before we find that out, right? But it will come out in future cases because they'll be playing the deposition, or they'll be referencing the deposition in the civil trial. A little four-parter. Gonna be left out in the cold. Could be $500 million. Will he implicate himself? Yeah, he might very well have done. He might very well implicate himself. This is, people being taught, Eric and Don Jr. being tossed under the bus for him to save himself. Well, he's already done that. He's already said, no, this is Eric. But has he implicated himself? Got the victory card, the magician, the agreements, and the king. Okay, so we've got the Five of Pentacles here. The guy's being taught, basically thrown under the bus. The money train is coming, and these people are going to take it. So I think Don Jr. and Eric are going to take the brunt of the civil case here. And who's underneath the civil case is the King of Pentacles. It's Donald Trump Sr. So basically, there was my company, but my two boys were running it. But I'm asking if he's implicating himself in any other crimes. We have the magician. Something manifests underneath here. There is something that's going to manifest underneath here. It's going to be about agreements. Probably, again, stuff that he has said with banks or agreements he came to. Again, before I saw this was maybe him talking with his attorneys, but this could also be bankers and things that he made agreements with. Is it? This could just be the two boys, or Ivanka and one of the sons, and Trump involved with that. Yeah, I don't think this is answering my question if he's going to implicate himself in other things. I think really what this is, well, it's possible. If he throws his sons under the bus, maybe they make a plea agreement and get a little bit of a victory out of this. But if I really wanted to read this, I'm just going to say the boys are going to be thrown under the bus. He's going to make it. They were the ones who committed all these frauds and listened to the accountants and everything like that. He had nothing to do with it. That was I gave them the company and they agreed to operate it. So Donald Trump gets away. I don't think he's going to. Yeah, maybe he doesn't implicate himself, but he gets off here. But I think Don Jr. and Eric are going to be found culpable in this. Again, it's a civil case, so. Oh, maybe that's what that is. It's a civil case, so there's no criminal penalty to that, but stuff in the civil case can be used in the criminal case, and he's implicating Don Jr. and Eric, so that when the criminal charges come, they might be the ones that are criminally liable for it, and maybe that's what he thinks his victory is that he's managed to deflect and say, hey, whoa, it wasn't me, it was those two over there. And, he rides his horse to victory. He takes credit for everything that goes right, and he lays blame on everybody else for everything that goes wrong. Because that's who he is. We shall see. Keep your December 11th is going to be a fun day if he testifies, and you better believe there'll be more readings as we get closer to that, because that's going to be must-see TV, won't it? Anyways, thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your kind words and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider range and spectrum of viewers. To the new viewers to this channel, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.